Shalom, all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, that honors to the apostles, that honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, walking that are teaching the truth in sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going into the IFOs, which they call UFOs, meaning unidentified flying objects. We call them IFOs because we do identify that those flying objects are the angels of the Lord. And the angels ride in chariots, which are the clouds, which may be named cloud, and they may look like a cloud, or fire lights, as the scriptures may word it, because the prophets, when they wrote down the things that they saw, they only related to the things that was back then that people knew. But fast forward to now, when you break the scriptures down, you could relate these scriptures that the prophets wrote about pertaining to the chariots. You can see that that's what the Lord was talking about when we see these pictures of the angels, which they call UFOs, riding chariots. Pictures are really telling the facts. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this video. Then I'm gonna jump into some more scriptures. Shalom. Like the intro of this clip shows a flying roll, which it says in Zechariah chapter 5, which I'm gonna get. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get that first. Even though this was made by man, this introduction first clip, UFO flying in the city, but they got that image from real life. Art imitates life. So they got that image of a chariot by looking at a real chariot. And in this video also, they are claiming that it's been a lot of chariot sightings, or so-called UFO sightings, more than often, and the government can't hide it from the people anymore, that they see these flying objects, and it's going faster than a lot of the new advanced technology flying vehicles that they have created. And they saying they can't even keep up with it. They say they know that it's something else out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and looked and lifted, Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. So Zechariah saw this image that I'm about to show y'all when I press play. And also the reason why these chariots are popping up all over the place is because they are about to save the elect and destroy the enemies of Israel, starting with Esau's so-called white man. And it says, verse 3, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. It's a curse unto the heathens and a curse unto our people. Because the ones that are of the nation that are our people that the Lord is not saving is because the Most High didn't want them to be saved. The angels are going to destroy them. And also our enemies, starting with Esau. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. It was plenty of clips where these different military embassies are shooting at the angels of the Lord that are in these chariots. It'll show you that they know the angels mean no good to them, because these other nations don't need salvation. So anything foreign that's sent away, they're gonna try to check it. And also with these area laws that these different country has, anything flying in their radar, they going to be prompt to check it out. And they know that these angels are not a part of their area space program protocols. So it says, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. Then we'll get into some more scripture. Shalom.
We spent some time reporting on this story. We should have spent a lot more time, because this could be the most consequential thing to happen to this country, to this world, maybe ever.
See? So they know these chariots, these angels ain't got no peace with each other. Those angels are not coming to bring peace to these damn devils, but they're going to bring peace to Israel, and they are bringing peace to Israel.
The United States government is set to release a public report on everything it knows about UFOs. Lou Elizondo is the former head of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. He's been on the show a number of times. He just spoke to the New York Post about what that report will show. According to Elizondo, we will find an intelligence failure on the part of the U.S. intel community on the level of 9/11.
The last time we had an intelligence failure of this country, a major one, which was 9/11, it took us almost 3 years to come up with the 9/11 Commission report. Okay? It takes a long time. Let's just go down the rabbit hole here for a second. Let's just assume this is some sort of adversarial or foreign technology that several decades now has managed to leapfrog us and invade all 18 members of the intelligence community, despite our best human intelligence, signals intelligence, imagery intelligence, yada, 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 right? That would be an intelligence failure that would eclipse just about anything else this country has ever faced, especially if this has occurred for decades, that there's a foreign adversary that can put a nuclear warhead within moments over Washington, D.C. Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. And too few have considered it from that perspective. Nick Pope is a former Ministry of Defense official from the UK and perfectly positioned to answer the obvious question, which is, why didn't we see this coming? He joins us now. Nick, thanks so much for coming on. I thought Lou made a very solid point, and I'm embarrassed I hadn't thought of it before, which is this is, among other things, whatever these objects are, a potentially very grave threat to nation states. So where was the intelligence community in warning about this and learning more about it? Where were they?
Well, that has to be answered, absolutely. I mean, we are under siege. It's like there's a war of nerves going on. And if this was drones belonging to a foreign adversary, there would be an absolute outcry. And yet, the situation we're in, that we don't know what these things are, and they might even be extraterrestrial, that's worse. So I agree with Luke.
It might be extraterrestrial. They know that these are the angels of the Lord. Or they may not, but I know the elite knows. And y'all see these chariots on the screen right here, right? Those are the same chariots that's going to destroy our enemies pursuant to 2 Ezra chapter 13. That whole chapter goes into it about the chariots destroying our enemies. It explains about Yahushua chariot that he's going to ride in, which is going to be like a great big mountain. You can't see where it started, the graving at on the mold of the the chariot. That's what's coming back to Earth. Yeah, these are the chariots right here.
Elizondo on this. This is a potential catastrophic failure of intelligence. And if it happened, because skeptical...
And then you see how they're talking about the intelligence of these flying objects. These are the angels of the Lord, man. They know that these are highly advanced flying objects, man. Like, they're advanced in intelligence, speed of light. They go through walls, they go through mountains. They know all these things. And they're like, man, ain't no other nation got this type of capability. Because otherwise they would have been destroyed us. That's why they are in a frantic mode like this, because they puzzled on where these flying objects are coming from. But we know where these flying objects are coming from. They're coming from the heavens. They're coming from before Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai.
Bureaucrats were just saying to themselves, it can't be, therefore it isn't. Then there must be a reckoning.
So you say, and that is such a great point and nicely put, but you described it as a siege. Give our viewers who don't follow this topic closely a sense of the magnitude of data coming in about these encounters.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely extraordinary. And every day it seems like new information drops, things that the public and the media weren't told. So, for example, former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe just threw into the conversation the other day the fact that the satellite imagery of all this and some of the speeds being reported seem to blow the theory about foreign drones out of the water. We must be told.
See? They're like, hold on, man, this ain't no damn drone. They already made a process of elimination on what these flying objects could possibly be, which are the chariots of the Heavenly Father. They know that it's from the Heavenly Father, man. The elite know, like I've been mentioning. Those that know, not these lower level luminaries. They don't really know that deep. But yeah, these are the chariots of the Lord, and they're in the frantic mode because they never seen anything like this or witnessed things like this. They've been, like you said, recording these things for decades, but they're saying now is at a point like, wow. I mean, because these nations, starting with America, they knew about the so-called UFOs, the angels of the Lord back then, and what type of intelligence they had. And now fast forward, they're like, hold on, man, we can't keep up with this.
What's going on here, and we should think of this upcoming report to Congress as an intelligence assessment of the phenomenon itself, and one that's long overdue.
There are a lot of these. This is not like, some drunk guy in a rural road in northern New Hampshire saw something weird. I mean, this is the U.S. military regularly, very often, recording these objects.
Yes, absolutely. It's pilots, it's radar operators, it's satellite data, it's measurement and signature intelligence. There's such a lot of information now, so much that the US Navy has instructions for its pilots on what to do if they encounter these things. Now, I think as we go into May, in the run-up to this report going to Congress, there's going to be a lot of things going on behind the scenes, a lot of politicking, jockeying for position, factions, trying to kind of have their say on this. I anticipate more leaks of information, photos, videos, documents. There's a lot more to come here.
Nick Pope has been on this for so long. I appreciate your steadfast commitment to answering obvious questions. What is this? Thank you. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox.
Yep. Y'all can check some more out. This video in the description. I'm gonna put it in the description box. Yeah, man. The angels of the Lord are here, man. This is Acts chapter 1, verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up. This is talking about Yahushua when he was amongst the disciples at his last second with them before he was taken up in the chariot. It says, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And that cloud is going into the chariots. This is the Greek word nephele, a cloud used of the cloud which led the Israelites in the wilderness. Now, what cloud is going to lead anybody anywhere? This cloud is talking about the chariots of the Lord, because the cloud gave shade to Israel in the daytime, and the pillar of fire by night, which obviously the chariots of the Lord that led us in the night exile out of Egypt into the wilderness was a bright light from a chariot that these demons are catching on their cameras, on their radar. And these angels are kept in store to save the elect, and also to deliver, and also to wreak havoc on our enemies. Second Kings chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass as they went on and taught that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. That whirlwind wasn't no storm, it was a chariot. It says right here, and Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and rent them into pieces. So right here it said that the chariots of the Lord took him up. Analogy, a rider, horsemen, riders, troops, the Lord of hosts, meaning the Lord of armies, the Lord of Sabaoth, the righteous angels do the bidding of the Lord. They are a part of his army. And the chariot came up and took up Elijah. Now I'm going to give another account, then I'm going to wrap it up. This is 2 Kings chapter 6, around the 17th verse. And you can relate this to us because we surrounded by enemies every day. We're battling these spirits, battling ourselves, but ultimately, the Lord is telling us to keep our eyes on him, because he's going to miraculously do what he said he was going to do. And by me saying, or the meaning of me saying keeping our eyes on the Lord is this word, applying it and believing in it. So we should be like our forefathers, like it says in Job chapter 8, verse 8, inquired thy forefathers, I pray thee, Job said, because these things are written for our learning. This is 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountains was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. It's talking about the angels of the Lord. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord, and he said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. So, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 15. Well, verse 14. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of Yahweh was risen early and going forth, behold, and the host compassed the city both with horses and chariots, and his servant, and said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. It's talking about the angels of the Lord being more in number than the troops that was against Elisha and his servant that we're reading about right here. You know, you can read about this in this account in chapter 6 to get to the beginning of it. But I read the beginning of it. I'm just telling you, the point of the matter is that the Lord's angels are surrounding us day in and day out. And it says, and he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Yeah, more than Esau angels, man. I mean, his which, you know, his army is his angels, you know, including his military might, his military might, not including, but his military might, his weaponry that he has. You know, we see all these things against us, his robot dogs, his system. All this is surrounding us, and we're like, man, you know, who can take him down? That's how it was before, but we know that the Lord's going to take him down. Like the Lord told Zerubbabel in the book of Zechariah, in the 4th chapter, he said, no, we're not going to win carnally, for roughly paraphrasing. But the Lord is going to do it. So the Lord's going to fight our battles. That's what this really is saying. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get that, then I'm going to come back. This is Zechariah chapter 4. Verse 6, Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel. Say not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, Grace, grace unto it. It's like it says in Ephesians chapter 6, around the 12 verse 13 verse, that our warfare is not carnal, but spiritual. And us having this light, the Lord is showing us that he has a standard around us. And we see these angel sightings, man. We say our praise to Yahweh Shem Shah because of that. This is 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 17 again. And Elisha prayed, verse 16, and he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Yeah, so those angels are all around us, man, protecting us, man. So, the Lord is near. So with that, I'm going to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, Quorum the elect, Shalom.